Oklahoma's home for live local late-breaking coverage. Eyewitness News 5 at 5 starts right now.
A blanket of white covers central Oklahoma. Our crews have been all over the state today, keeping you ahead of this winter storm.
You're looking at pictures of the snow here and in the metro and out west in Elk City, where that system dumped inches of snow. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Paul Folger.
I'm Jessica Shambach. We continue our team coverage this evening. KOCO's Michael Seiden, Morgan Chesky, and Ariel Resha for all live tonight. But first, we want to get the very latest on this storm from Chief Meteorologist Damon Lane. Damon?
Certainly has been a fun day to look outside the window and see the snow on the grass, but not really amounting to much on the roads. That's the kind of snow we like to see here. And you know what? We have another band of snow, the very last band of snow just west of Oklahoma City. But as we take you into the metro, it is now 5 o'clock. I know many of us are getting ready to head home, or you know someone that is coming home from work. And it looks like we don't have any snow falling over, at least overhead for Oklahoma City. The roads will be wet, but they will not be icy. You can see here's Will Rogers World Airport. However, snow just west, and it will be moving in within the hour. Now, just west of I-35 in northern Oklahoma, we are seeing the snow from Medford to Enid to Hennessy, but it's out towards the west where we had this last band of snow that's going to push right on through. This will not produce that much more than what we've already seen, maybe just a few tenths of an inch of snow. But how cold are we getting tonight, and how icy will the roads get tomorrow? We'll talk about it coming up. Paul.
Damon, thank you. Big team coverage continues. We want to go live now to KOCO's Michael Seiden.
And Michael, you've been out driving around in this mess all day, and you did see how at times the roads can get dangerous.
That's right, Jessica. A lot of drivers blaming wrecks on the snow. Check it out here in El Reno. They got about 4 inches. Pretty impressive out here. I want to give you a live look at I-40. You can see the interstate is clear right now, but that was not the case earlier this afternoon. We were in Oklahoma City where we saw one really bad wreck.
It's really dangerous. It's really slippery. You don't have to drive, don't go out there in it.
For tow truck driver Antonio Hughes,
It's really bad.
the intersection of Hefner and Piedmont is what keeps him busy.
That's a usual spot where they roll over at.
Just ask Jeff Pashley.
It was coming sideways in my lane, so I went into the ditch. It ran me off the road, and then it didn't slow down, and I ended up rolling into the big ditch.
And that was just the beginning. As paramedics rushed to the crash, photojournalist Chris Lee and I followed the sirens. Driving way below the speed limit, we arrived on scene, only to find that the ambulance had collided with a truck.
Amcare come around trying to miss some other people and end up getting into me.
And Curtis isn't alone. After clipping his truck, this ambulance came to a crashing halt when it rear-ended a deputy who was just trying to control the traffic.
It's just a bad spot right here.
Now you can see snow starting to come down out here. Now, I want to make it very clear, no one was injured in that wreck. Now, we want to continue this live team coverage. My colleague Morgan Chesky is standing by live in Woodward. Morgan, what are you seeing up there?
Michael, more good news in this part of the state too, and that's despite that heavy snow, the few accidents we did have here did not injure anyone involved, and that's because residents are calling us about the perfect snow they could have had, and here's the reason why. We are looking at about, like you had over there, 3 to 4 inches, almost 3, but keep in mind, a lot of that snow, well, it's already melted, and in a drought-stricken area like this, that means a lot, but most importantly, it's kept these roadways clear.
It was the slow start that turned into nonstop snow. By mid-morning, flakes covered almost every inch of western Oklahoma. In Woodward, the steady snowfall proved a pleasant surprise.
Usually when the forecast calls for 5 or 6 inches, we barely get a trace, and when they call for a trace, we usually get a lot.
Well, it's good for the town. I mean, the ground really needed it. Farmers really needed it.
A temperature hovering just above freezing kept it just cold enough for the snow to stay on the ground, but not on the roads. Most people were able to make it to work. Angie Greta ended up turning into part-time snow sweeper.
I'm ready for spring. I'm done. Holidays are over, I'm done. No more winter. And look what I get.
For ODOT, the job was never done. Crews filled up trucks early, ready for the worst, but were spared by Mother Nature, letting everyone enjoy a change in scenery.
Now, I've spoken to regional ODOT directors. They tell me right now all roads are open and they haven't had to shut anything down. That's good news for this area, and even better, we're starting to see that snow lessen here a little bit, so life should get back to as normal as much as possible. Live in Woodward, Morgan Chesky, KOCO, Eyewitness News 5.
And then everyone can just sit back and enjoy the pretty sight. Morgan, thank you. And as the snow continues to fall, city crews, they have been working to clear the roads ahead of the evening commute.
KOCO's Ariel Reshef is live with details. And Ariel, how are they managing there?
Well, the city crews have deployed up to 16 different salt trucks, and they've been taking that salt right here from the salt barn. Now this houses 7,500 tons of that salt, and that's what they've been using to help clear some of the slick spots all across the metro. Those trucks have actually been at it since earlier today when the snow started falling. So far, the driving conditions have actually not been terribly bad. We've just seen a lot of slush and some wetness on the streets. Of course, officials asking everyone to drive a little carefully. And also, city officials say that they will continue to monitor the temperatures on the ground overnight for any refreezing that may occur.
We'll have crews here all night. We got another 2 strike teams coming in at midnight tonight, and we can add to that, if needed.
And some good news for travelers. The public transportation will continue to run on schedule. It ran on schedule all day, and also they believe it will into the morning commute hours. And also emergency crews asking everyone to be sure to pack a survival kit in the car. They say this cold weather can still affect you whether the snow leaves ice or not, so be sure to keep a blanket, some water, some extra food in the car just in case. We're live in Southwest Oklahoma City. Ariel Reshef, KOCO, Eyewitness News 5.
Yeah, better to be safe than sorry, Ariel. Thank you. And don't forget, you can get the latest winter weather information at KOCO.com and our mobile app as well. You'll find cancellations, our winter weather live wire, and our hour-by-hour predictor.
New at 5, a Del City Middle School employee is charged with molesting a student.
This is Anthony Starks. KOCO's Naveen Dhaliwal joins us now with some more information on this. Naveen?
Well, Jessica, a 13-year-old girl called her mother saying she had been inappropriately touched by a teacher here at Delcrest Middle School. That teacher has been identified as 25-year-old Anthony Starks. He used to supervise kids in detention at the school. In court documents, the girl claims Starks asked other students to leave the classroom. He then massaged her neck and back and put his hands down her pants. In the report, initially, Starks denied this to police, but later admitted to only massaging the girl's neck. Now, the Mid-Del school sent us this statement saying Anthony Starks was only employed from August of 2012 until November 28th of 2012. At his time of employment, he met the criteria for background checks identified by laws set forth by the state of Oklahoma. Live here in Del City tonight, Naveen Dhaliwal, KOCO, Eyewitness News 5.
Okay, Naveen, thank you. And if Anthony Starks looks familiar to you, well, there is a reason. He was one of 2 men accused of choking and hitting an Oklahoma County deputy working security at the Bricktown IHOP back in 2011. He was charged in the case and pleaded guilty to misdemeanor assault and battery.
And late breaking at 5, police are now in a gun battle in the mountains of California. I want to take you to a news conference going on in California. This is regarding Christopher Dorner and that shootout there. Let's listen in.
Among our officers here, concern about the officers that are up there, and until this guy's in handcuffs and until he's in custody, none of the people in our department are going to rest.
What about your manpower? You said you guys were waiting. What kind of resources did you send up there?
I can't give the specifics of what resources we sent. We did send some resources. They're waiting at the airport in San Bernardino now, and we're waiting to be called in by the incident commander if we're needed. Right now, we haven't been needed. And by the way, that people have been asking if the chief of police has gone out there. Chief Beck has not responded out there. He's still here.
What kind of vehicle did he steal?
I don't have information about the vehicle that this suspect allegedly took. I've seen some videotape from the media members on that vehicle. I don't have the information about what that vehicle was.
Commander, if he is watching this, what message do you have for him right now?
If he's watching this, a message for himself is enough is enough. It's time to turn yourself in. It's time to stop the bloodshed. It's time to let this event and let this incident be over.
Okay, you've been listening live there to the news conference in California. This is regarding Christopher Dorner. They have been in a shootout with him. He is the ex-cop out in California that's suspected of killing 3 people just last week. So this has been going on, but this may be coming to an end as they seem to have surrounded him in this gunfire fight.
And we understand that some officers may be hurt as well, so we'll continue to follow that for you.
Also tonight, the president is addressing the nation on the state of the state. It's for our country. It's for the first time in his 2nd term.
He's expected to focus on one topic in particular, and ABC's Karen Travers is in Washington to explain.
President Obama isn't setting any expectations for his State of the Union address tonight.
find out tonight.
In his annual address to Congress and the nation, the president's expected to outline an agenda to grow the middle class and grow the economy.
The middle class is the engine that drives this country forward.
To do that, the president will call for new programs, new spending as a way to stimulate growth. And Republicans are already firing back. Earlier today, a feisty House Speaker John Boehner told reporters off camera that the president doesn't have the guts to make tough choices about the deficit because he won't take on the liberals in the Democratic Party. Other top Republicans echoed that charge.
Another litany of left-wing proposals with plenty of red meat for the president's base.
I hope my Republican colleagues will give his vision the consideration it deserves.
The partisan fight will center on spending cuts and the economy, but it will be gun control that will likely spark the emotional moments tonight. Attending as special guest of the First Lady, the parents of Hadiya Pendleton, the Chicago teen who was gunned down in a park just days after she was in Washington performing for the inauguration. And sprinkled throughout the House chamber, nearly 36 people who have been personally affected by gun violence.
But the speech won't be all domestic policy. The president's expected to announce that 1 year from tonight, 34,000 U.S. troops will be home from Afghanistan. That's about half the current level serving there right now. Karen Travers, ABC News, Capitol Hill. Karen, thank you. And you can join in on the conversation during tonight's speech. Just join our live wire on KOCO.com.
And we are still watching a wintry mix moving in across the metro as we speak, but as the sun sets, temperatures will drop. So how likely are we to see icy roads in the morning? I'll show you where we could see them coming up.
And beware, sneaky thieves are after your cell phone.
The question they're asking and how you could become an easy target.